The morning fog rolled over Arlington Cemetery like a ghostly shroud, softening the monuments into gray, spectral shapes. Sergeant Daniel Harker stood at his post, motionless, every muscle taut, every breath measured. For 5 years, he had guarded the tomb of the unknown soldier, performing his duty with the kind of precision and discipline most men only dreamed of. Shoes polished, rifle gleaming, uniform immaculate, he was the embodiment of ritual and respect. The cemetery was his domain, and silence his companion. Yet on this particular morning, the stillness felt different. The wind whispered with urgency through the oaks and maples, and Harker's instincts, honed by years of vigilance, prickled at the back of his neck. Then he heard it, a sudden, high-pitched cry that cut through the fog, sharp and urgent. He spun toward the sound. It came from the far side of the main walkway, near the cluster of World War II monuments. His boots struck the wet grass in a soft, rhythmic thunder as he ran. A woman lay sprawled on the cold ground, clutching her swollen belly, her eyes half closed, body trembling. She was heavily pregnant, and panic radiated from her even before Harker knelt beside her. Her pulse was rapid, and her skin was pale, clammy to the touch. "Ma'am, can you hear me?" Harker asked, keeping his voice low and steady. "You're going to be all right. Help is coming." The woman's lips quivered. I don't know. I can't breathe," she whispered, panic threading through her voice. Harker's trained mind assessed quickly. She was about to faint again, possibly in shock. He needed assistance, fast. And then came a sound he could never mistake, the rumble of a motorcycle engine tearing through the fog. Loud, raw, almost aggressive against the serenity of the cemetery. It was a Hell Angel's bike, chrome shining wet in the morning light, black leather gleaming under droplets of fog. The rider slowed near the monuments, removing his helmet. He was a man built for the road, tattoos crawling across tanned, muscled arms, leather vest creaking as he dismounted. His hair was long, streaked with gray, wind-tangled. His eyes were sharp, aware, almost feral, but beneath them was a calm that made Harker's chest tighten with a strange certainty. "She's pregnant," Harker said, glancing at the biker without hesitation. "Collapsed." The biker crouched beside the woman, assessing her with quick, practiced eyes. "All right, lady," he said, voice rough but steady. "We're going to take care of you. Don't fight it. Breathe." Harker moved to support her back, while the biker held her legs. Together, they steadied her, two worlds colliding in urgent harmony, the rigid discipline of Arlington's tomb guard and the wild, experienced instinct of a Hell Angel's rider. "Lean forward. Calm yourself," the biker instructed, voice low, commanding. "Harker, lift her slowly. We'll get her somewhere flat. Don't let her struggle." Harker nodded. The cemetery stretched wide, paths winding between marble monuments and towering oaks. The nearest road was too far to carry her comfortably without risk, but he trusted the biker's judgment. They lifted her together, careful not to jostle her abdomen. The woman whimpered, panic rising in her voice. I can't. You can," the biker interrupted gently. "You're stronger than you think. We've got you. One breath at a time." Harker mirrored the biker's calm, lowering her slowly to a flat stretch of grass near a monument. She gasped, shivering as if the cold fog had seeped into her bones. The biker pressed a hand to her forehead. "Stay with me. That's it. Focus on us." Harker felt the unusual warmth of something unfamiliar, beyond duty, beyond training. This was humanity in action, raw and unpolished. He glanced at the biker, whose steady hands and quiet authority were keeping the woman tethered to life. "She's sweating," Harker noted. "Her pulse is irregular. Could be heat exhaustion or stress-induced fainting." "Could be a lot of things," the biker replied, eyes sharp. "Right now, she's alive. That's all that matters." Suddenly, the woman's body convulsed slightly. Harker tensed. This was no ordinary faint. The biker noticed too, shifting his position to cradle her shoulders and head gently. Okay, he murmured, almost to himself. "You're fine. Focus on your breathing." The woman's hands pressed to her stomach instinctively. Harker's jaw tightened. Years of ceremonial poise had never prepared him for this. Yet here he was, kneeling in damp grass beside a pregnant stranger, relying on the instincts of a biker to guide him through life-or-death moments. "She's going into labor?" Harker asked quietly. "Not yet," the biker replied. "But we're on the edge. Keep her calm." Harker adjusted the woman's posture while the biker maintained his reassuring presence. The motorcycle engine hummed softly nearby, a heartbeat in the fog. They were two guardians, one bound by tradition, one bound by instinct. Together, they created a pocket of safety in the chaos of the morning. Minutes passed, though it felt like hours. Finally, the distant wail of sirens cut through the fog. EMTs were arriving. The biker flagged down the approaching ambulance, his massive arm rising like a beacon. Harker helped guide the woman to the stretcher, careful not to jostle her. "You're going to be fine," Harker said again, meeting her terrified gaze. "You're safe now." The woman clutched their hands briefly, her body trembling. I don't know what I would have done without you." The biker's gravelly voice softened. "Some of us ride for the road, some for the rush. Today we rode for you." The EMTs took over, loading her carefully into the van. Harker and the biker stepped back, watching the doors close. Harker felt a rare warmth in his chest, a bond forged in urgency and trust. "You ever patrol this area?" Harker asked the biker quietly. "Depends on where life needs me," the biker replied. "Today it needed me here." He swung onto his bike, revving the engine. "You did good too, soldier." Harker watched him disappear into the fog, the roar fading, leaving the cemetery silent once more. But the memory lingered, of fear, of life hanging by a thread, and of two strangers who had come together to save it. Weeks later, Harker returned to the same stretch of Arlington Cemetery. The fog had lifted, revealing sunlight filtering through oak branches. He stood at his post, uniform immaculate, rifle in hand, every muscle taut. But his mind wandered to that morning, the chaos, the urgency, the collision of discipline and instinct that had saved a life. A low rumble reached him from the road. The biker's Hell Angel's motorcycle emerged from the shadows, leather gleaming, chrome catching the sun. The man slowed, tipping his helmet back with a faint grin. "How's the guard?" he called. "Good," Harker replied. "Better than before." The biker scanned the monuments, as if assessing the weight of history surrounding them. "You ever think about breaking routine?" Harker considered it. His life had been one of repetition, of ritual, of measured steps. But that morning had shown him the value of action beyond ceremony. "You ride for people," Harker said finally. "And you guard them," the biker countered. "Guess we're not so different." They shared a brief, knowing look, a silent acknowledgement that courage and humanity could come in many forms. The cemetery returned to its solemn stillness, the fog rolling over stones that had witnessed centuries of history. Yet Harker knew that beyond the fog, life continued to demand heroes, sometimes in uniform, sometimes in leather. The woman had survived. Soon, she would hold her child in her arms. And somewhere on that road, the Hell Angel's biker rode on, a guardian of life in a world that often forgot the quiet miracles happening around it. Harker returned to his post, rifle steady, eyes forward. The fog drifted through the cemetery, brushing against marble and moss, a living reminder of duty, honor, and fleeting courage. That morning had proven something he had always known but rarely felt, that heroism does not wear a single uniform, that courage can take many forms, and that sometimes the unlikeliest of allies can save a life. And sometimes the world pauses long enough to watch them do it.